butterflies that were migrating from the forest to the beach to spawn their eggs, and I was there for about, I think it was like 10 weeks. And it was this little teeny island that was slowly going crazy, you know, when you get island fever. And this little island had a library, which I checked out a book on storm chasing. And the idea at that time of taking a road trip, you know, across the United States was just utterly appealing. So when I got back, I did some research and I found a gentleman by the name of Dr. Josh Werman, who was a scientist studying tornadoes in the field. And so I just cold called him one day and said, "Hi, my name is Sean. I have an IMAX camera. Can I come and follow you?" And he said yes. And of course, he didn't know it at the time, but I'd be a thorn in his side for the next 12 years. And the first chases that I went on, I just fell instantly in love with the environment out there, where you have these storms that go up in the afternoon, and the visual size of a mountain, you know, filled with power and movement. And then to get the shots to go underneath these storms, to get underneath that power, you know, the rain and the lightning and the hail, and of course the tornadoes, it was immersive, and it was adventurous, and it was exciting. And I fell instantly in love with the process. Because, you know, I'm from Los Angeles, and we don't have supercells there, you know, we just get rain and mudslides and wildfires. But, you know, tornadoes are something completely new. And they were in our backyard, you know, it's not like you have to go to Australia and rent a boat and go film great white sharks. You know, this was something that, you know, you could just hop in your car, maybe even a tank, and head east and film these things. So we spent 3 years gathering footage for Forces of Nature. And at the time, you know, we really didn't know what we were doing. And we rent minivans to chase in. And of course, these minivans, you can only get so close to these tornadoes before you had to turn tail and, you know, get out of the way. And usually when you had to leave, that's when things were getting, you know, that's when you wanted to stay, because that's when it was getting visibly just remarkable, you know, just utterly mind-blowing, mesmerizing. But you had to leave. And so once that film was done, you know, I had, you know, 2 impressions. One was that, you know, I desperately needed to keep chasing. And 2, you know, if I was going to keep chasing, we'd have to build a vehicle to get those shots that really hadn't been got before. And of course, in the IMAX format, I mean, you can take amazing visuals with it. I mean, there's no other format on this planet that has the resolution of an IMAX camera. So it felt, in my mind, worth to risk our lives to bring back footage that you could share the excitement and the passion of, you know, the experience of chasing down these tornadoes in the Midwest. So when I first started approaching people about this idea of building a tank and doing a film on tornadoes, you know, no one wanted to give us money at all because they thought it was a suicide mission. You know, build a tank out of a tornado. So initially I had to do this all out of pocket, and I didn't have that much money, so I had to buy a used 450 pickup truck that had 114,000 miles on it. I had to learn how to weld to fabricate the first vehicle. And then once people saw that, you know, we were successful, I should also mention, you know, we just didn't build a vehicle and drive into tornadoes. You know, we were chasing with the radar trucks, and Dr. Werman thought that this was a good idea. You know? If he could scan the tornadoes and see how strong they were prior to us driving in, he thought that that was a viable mission. And of course, you know, he saw it from the point of view that he could instrument our vehicles. We were kind of like his chimpanzees, driving this local weather station into the path of these tornadoes. So even though it sounds risky, it was kind of safe because we had the radar truck and we had the armor. And so it was 8 years of chasing in these crazy contraptions. And every year, you know, you're out there on the road for 10 weeks straight, and you're doing 30,000 miles. You know, you're averaging 400 or 500 miles a day. And you're staying in a different hotel room every night.